What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders and closet swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. Hope you guys are feeling better than the PPI report that came out earlier. Hope you feel just like inflation. I hope you guys have that same vibe as inflation. Just all positive direction. Inflation is crazy. But what's crazier is all you guys in the house bright and early in the morning. Jason P. King, good morning. We got Chuck in the house. Good morning. Al is with us. Albert, Bill, good morning. Brian, Cedric's joining us. Good morning, Christopher, David. We got Eric, Fayaz, Franco, GW's rocking with us. Good morning, Jill, Lawrence, Marissa's with us. We got Rick, Ron, Sue, Tanya, Tony, Win. Yes, sir. All my peeps in YouTube land. Look like we got Hector in YouTube land today. All my people commenting in YouTube. All my people that are just kind of sitting there lurking, not commenting. Good morning to you guys as well. Whew. It's going to be a good one. The spy. The spy. The Bears. Jeff says, good morning, Dan. The coaching sessions you and Tracy did with attorney Dan was excellent. Glad the two of you are back together doing the podcast. For any traders out there that may be struggling a bit, I highly recommend listening to it. Beautiful. Appreciate the compliments, Jeff. And later today, 3:30 to 5, me and Tracy Ball are back on it again with the recording live. So if you guys are in the All Access Pass, you guys could be here live with us for that. And then for anybody else, we do send out those recordings on Friday. So appreciate you guys listening each and every episode to that. We have the SPY with a gap down today on PPI numbers that came in hot. Normally I would say this is why the market is so frustrating, right? This is a fantastic gap and go. Absolutely fantastic. Very strong close yesterday. We ran it up. Everybody's feeling good about their portfolios, about themselves. They're all the best investors because they picked up companies that don't make any money, that just keeps on running up higher. And then today, they're not feeling so good. So every single person is down, which would make usually a play we can take advantage of. This one might not be the easiest. So I do want to caution that. If we look at where we were kind of bouncing yesterday, I think the low of the day not yesterday. The low of the day, we're sitting pretty much at or right below, depending on where the next 27 minutes brings us. But we're still in this uptrend, right? So we're still got this uptrend. If this was gapping a little bit lower, maybe even into like this 408.16, that might make it a little bit easier to play, saying, oh my goodness, this is the best gap in the world. It's not a bad gap. Technically, we have 4 green candles, right? But some of those are inside. Again, very strong close yesterday. Still not outside of that high wave. And we're just dancing still inside this high wave. So I can see some chop. I can also see, we have to see the trend of every dip gets bought up starting to crack. I haven't seen that yet. Maybe today's the day. But we're still in the uptrend, right? We are opening below. Let's take, we don't have to go back too far in history for this. 1, 2, 3, 4 days ago was like the first time we opened up in quite some time, or a couple of weeks, below the 10 EMA. And then what happened? We got bought right back up into the 10 EMA. So is this going to happen today? I don't know. I think there is a lot of volume that came in over the last 2 days, and we are trapping definitely some people, but they're not going to make it easy. I have to lean a little bit more bearish at open for now. Maybe some individual stocks we'll take a look at, and maybe we have different sentiments, or maybe we just have really good targets that the risk to reward could make sense. Chuck's got a couple: QQQ, Tesla, Apple, Amazon. All right, we'll take a look at those. PPI high, shocked, just shocked. Why we should just always assume that all news is like, this is actually the first news that I will say, this is the first news that like we haven't immediately got bought back. All the news lately for probably the last 3 weeks that were bad, and there's been a lot of them, But any of the news that was bad, we bought it up pretty much right into open and almost immediately. This one's still kind of hanging down there a little bit. Even the Qs. So the Qs are still not at the lows of yesterday, but very, very close to the opening range. We are below a couple of VPOCs. So again, where this thing opens is going to be a huge driver today. If the Qs are going to hold and bounce back or not. And I just don't know. I just don't know. This normally 6 months ago, this happens. We'd probably be down about 2-3% in the overall market and just crush lower and easy gap and go. We're at a very interesting spot. This could be a double top if this one does fade down. I would almost suggest this. I would almost, I don't know. I shouldn't suggest anything. It's not like the market listens to me anyway. But if we can get into that VPOC and we use that little bit of a VPOC as the resistance, so if we try to buy this thing up into 308.61, and then we reject that, and then this kind of closes down here or closes below this green candle, that might be an interesting look for the charts, right? That might be, okay, well, now we have a little bit of a double top with lower highs. And then the next step, obviously, we got to get somewhere below that wick to actually create a new lower high, do something like that. And maybe, just maybe, but at the same time, this is one of the most hated bull rallies we've had in a while, right? Everyone's like, usually people are happy when things go bullish. People are like, nah, we're upset. Let's take a look at some of Chuck's plays. But yeah, so Chuck, so QQQ, since that's the first one you mentioned, I think we still might have a little buy the dip mentality. I don't know if short out of the gate is the correct play. We're gonna have to see what those opening candles. It's a very interesting spot. We have this 10 EMA on a daily holding us up. I just don't know if it's going to be as bearish out of the gate as people might assume. I would think maybe a little bit later in the day we get. If this happens, this would be the zone I would love to attempt a short. Whether it works or not is a whole different story. But 308.61 was it 308? Yeah, 308.61. No, I'm sorry. 30. The 6 looks like I need a bigger TV. So this is 306.61. 306.61. All right, let's take a look at, I believe you wanted Tesla as well. We'll see how Elon's holding up in all this. Again, decent close, nice little retest yesterday. I think Tesla's going to be a little bit more on the chop side. A little bit more on the chop side. We'll have to see how this one pans out. We looked at this in the afternoon room yesterday. We were just pulling up some of the VPOCs, or at least some pockets of liquidity. I mean, we're right into a heavy zone of resistance. We could still go up a little bit higher, right? We could even probably hit this 222.50, 223, somewhere in that zone. It's possible over the next couple of days. We have one little support zone somewhere around this 209, 208, 60, something like that. That could hold us up as well. And then if we start breaking that down, so really once we start getting past 204.48, it's still in chop, but I think we have a little bit more backing saying that the bulls are starting to weaken up a little bit. But it is a gap and go. It's just inside day. So we'll see if there's some better plays, something that we could take advantage of out of the gate. Otherwise, we're still high up there. We did gap down. We're still in yesterday's range, but this is right around the range where they bought Tesla back up again after that retest. So I don't know if we're completely out of the woods. We got like a crystal clear plan on Tesla for today, at least at this point. But and when I'm talking market open. I'm looking for something for market open. Later in the day, we might get a setup, or even 30 minutes in or something like that. We could see maybe some kind of reversal or something like that too. So we'll see. Apple, another one. So it is gapping down. It was a pretty strong close yesterday, a very, very tiny wick at the top, almost not even noticeable. And we are still just in this little decent support zone. We didn't break the low of yesterday's candle. So again, people that maybe missed out on some of that, or then maybe this is a spot they look to try it again and see if the buy the dip thing continues. Again, a good plan on this one. I see this now untested VPOC. I think that would be our resistance. So something like that. And then maybe we look to fade. That would come in roughly maybe about 154.41. Could be. Lucian says, wow, manufacturing index, what a big miss. Minus 24.3 versus a little bit of a miss. Just a tad. Tad, little bit of a miss there. Yeah. Well, let's see if any news is good news. It doesn't have to be good or bad news. It's just any news is good news. Just we just want to know that we're still alive. That's it. That's all we're looking for. All right, we got Amazon. We didn't do shop yet. We're gonna get to that one for sure. We got Amazon. Same thing, just inside day, added decent support. So again, if bulls want to try to bring this thing up, this is the spot. So I don't know out of the gate if we have any clear, like, man, there's definitely people trapped. Even if you're in this thing long and you are trapped on this candle, you bought anywhere above this 99.60 zone where we're opening, you're not really panicking yet. You're saying, okay, you know what? Maybe we get bought back up and maybe I could reassess the position higher, or yeah, okay, it's one little down move. I'm not terrified. So we'll have to see how that VPOC holds up right here. This is the spot for bulls if they're going to try to bring this thing up higher. All right, let's check out shop. Yeah, shops. Let's have a moment of silence. Moment of silence for Shopify. Yeah, so they we were watching all the earnings live last night and kind of looking into most things running up higher. Shop was the only one that kind of and I think it was more so off the forecast. Forecasts are saying next quarter is going to be very, very similar to this quarter, so not much growth in Shopify. It has run up absolutely massive. I think the lows in this one was about $23, roughly in that range. So some people could be up massive, and this is a pretty hefty gap down. I'm watching one little spot. All I see is one little spot to maybe hold us up. So 45.74. We have to see how this thing reacts off that. That could be a bounce spot. This is a pretty large gap. Pretty massive gap. And it actually, after we come down maybe slightly a little bit, that might be the spot to turn. If it breaks, though, there's really nothing holding it back. I guess the next spot would be about 44.42, and then the one after that, which would be a much heavier bounce spot, would be 43.37. So I'm not sure how I want to play this thing yet. It is obviously trapping a decent amount of people. Where's that big volume candle? Yeah, so this is a bigger volume candle in here. We're still in this range. This thing, believe it or not, probably ends up fading higher. So we'll see if we can get a couple red candles on this one on Shopify, and then we'll see if we can take advantage of maybe trying to attempt to play this thing bullish. The one day the market gives me something to say, okay, maybe bears are here, I want to go bullish on something. It's just a large gap. That's probably how I'd play it. See if we get maybe a little more panic selling right at open. And since it's not there yet, we could put a little alert. See if we get alerted at that price. And then we'll see if we could get maybe some kind of double bottom, good candle, volume, something like that, to see if we could capture any of that up move. But it is down a lot, and this thing might fade a little bit. We'll see. And for me to short this thing, I probably want to get back into about 48.40. So if I could get to about 48.40, maybe slightly lower than that, that would be the spot I'd be more comfortable shorting. Otherwise, I'm just throwing an R out and hoping. I don't have a huge, great risk reward right now, unless this thing absolutely opens and just plummets. And I don't know that's going to happen. Let's see, Meta. It's a metaverse. If this can gap down a little bit more, this would be a decent looking island reversal. But on this pivot, we do have now a higher or lower high right? We're hanging in right at that spot, and this is what the market is going to be frustrating today. This is the support spot. So I am going to put this one higher on the list, because if I could get a candle that closes below it. So let's go through my strategy, not strategy, but at least my plan on it. This is really the only thing that's got us holding us up, is that one little VPOC. If I was a bull, maybe this is a decent attempt to try. Obviously, this is some kind of we are trapping some bulls. Not as strong of a day yesterday as some other things had. Right? If we could get some kind of selling, we get one red candle to close below it, and then almost to the sense of 10 EMA. It wouldn't be quite 10 EMA, but I want like some kind of green candle to retest into it, and then we could take a breakdown of it. Right. So I want to just go short here and then probably have my stop somewhere above that VPOC. So we'll have it on the list. We'll see what happens at open, but I want to get some confirmation that this thing is definitely, we're getting some closing candles below this thing. Maybe a little bit of buying, retest back into that VPOC, and then we could take the breakdown again. But I could see how we could play that one. It's a huge, massive gap. Not a lot of things to hold this thing back from further selling. I don't think we go from 173.98 all the way down to 152 today, but I think we could definitely make some R's, or we're getting very close. Probably is going to be a little stubborn, and I don't know if we get that breakdown right away, as we are in that spot where, again, I don't know if the bulls are going to come in and save these things, but they're at the spot where they have to try. Microsoft, Bill Gates. Another gap and go, another annoying gap and go. Right above the 10 EMA, so maybe we could look for that 10 EMA to support us. And then we have levels of VPOC slightly under, which is 263.36. So again, there's a lot of gap and goes in the market. So far, I'm not really trusting too many of them yet. Not yet, just because they're at very good support spots. All right, we got Delta. Yeah, Delta. Again, nice little gap and go. The rest of the market is doing the same exact thing. We do have that little bit of support here. And then probably target. So if you are going to take this trade, I would at least be shaving shares at 38.12. Right? My next target down is probably going to be somewhere around this 37.19 zone. And that would be my final target for the day. So if we get something crazy, the market actually doesn't want to buy things. That would be the final target, 37.19. But I would definitely be looking to shave a couple shares here. Again, my sentiment is a little bit more bearish than bullish. It's just I need to see a little bit more on some of these things first before I get very excited that I'm like, all right, it's finally here. It was PPI all along. We just need a PPI to come in. That was the black swan. Best I've seen this morning. Meta decent. 40.7. Gap fill what? The bear suit got washed this morning. Hector's ready to go. See, I don't know, Hector. I understand your sentiment. I understand, like, all of these gaps look pretty delicious, but you know, I've also been into I've gone to like bakeries where like the whole display shelf is all fake food. You know, you go in, looks good. You're like, man, all this food looks great. And then you realize it's just plastic food models. It's not even the real product. That's what I feel like today is. I feel like they're just teasing us with something look good. And then you get home because they put it in a styrofoam container and it shakes around in the car. And it's unidentifiable by the time you hit all the speed bumps driving. That's what I feel like today might be. All right. Roku. So yeah, Roku gapped up, decent earnings. They beat on everything. Pretty surprised beat on earnings per share. I think they were expected to lose, if I'm not, yeah. So they were expected to lose $1.72, and they ended up surprise beating by 2 cents. And then on the revenue side of things, they did do a heck of a lot better than the estimate. So about 64 million more, 8% beat. And yeah, it looks good. This should be, I would assume, we have a little bit. This one actually could go again. This is it should be a retest gap. I'm seeing a decent amount of support, so watch out for support around 67.86 if you want to try to play a fade on this one. The earnings were very, very good. I could actually see this thing running bullish, but in that sense, probably about 71.30, about 71, and maybe lower. Let's go with $71. $71 would be the probably target. So if I'm going to fade it, I would love to see some kind of green candles out of the gate, and we'll see if we could take some kind of short underneath some of those candles. Let's see. Or opening candle into that 71 or $70 zone, and then maybe it's a high wave or something like that would be fantastic. But we are getting to a little bit of resistance. That's a pretty massive gap on it. I would expect some kind of selling, but out of everything that's down today, you got Roku coming in strong. I need some opening candles. I need some space since I'm feeling bullish. I don't know if I'm feeling bullish. I don't think I'm feeling bullish at all. I think I just don't trust the bears. I just don't trust the bears. There's a difference. All right, space. Again, this one I do expect to retest. This one is still inside. We have a double top. Let's see if 631 hits, and then this one I think this one will retest, and probably a better spot to at least look is about 601 to go long, and 569 would be my second and much better. So if you have more patience, about 569 is a better spot. So we'll see if this one wants to come down first, but we're not clearing any pivots or anything like that. So I do think this one probably comes in for a full fade. Darian's in the house. What's up, buddy? I think Darian's somewhere in Orlando, or at least the Orlando area, if I'm not mistaken. Lucia said, it's been a while since we've had a premium gap of any sort. Well, yeah, some individual names. Fort Lauderdale. Okay. Some individual names have given it to us. But yes, and the follow through on a lot of these things is not really. ZG Zillow Group. Here's another company. They had a good surprise beat on earnings as well. This one, maybe we could get some continuation in a bullish direction if we want to play bullish. Again, probably expect maybe a candle or two to sell, and then we'd be looking for about 46.37 is the buy zone. Maybe a little bit of resistance here, we'll see. But if we could start breaking this little spot where we're at now, the next target, we could see a decent run up on this thing to about $50.22. There's not a lot holding us back. So ZG will add to the list. We'll watch this thing for a bullish move. And the big question, honestly, today, the real big question is, are we still buying dips? And up until today, so far, the answer's been yes. So is today the very first day? We will see. But ZG looks good. I'd probably be trying to roll this one bullish. Would love to see, again, small red candle, nothing too crazy. And then we could take a break higher on maybe a 3-minute chart. And then we got Twilio. Twilio has a lot of room to run. Again, I do believe this one is a retest gap, and we are pulling into, and when I say on this one, a lot of room to run, I think a little bit longer term. Potentially, we could be looking at like $85. But a little bit of potential resistance somewhere around 74.43. So on a day trade basis, I don't think we have that much upside before we start getting some kind of resistance or some kind of profit taking. If I got bullish anywhere in this zone, this would probably be my target. So I'd be looking for some kind of selling, taking some kind of profit, then see if we can get the dip. This is a retest gap. Maybe playing the fade. The fade for right now, we'd be looking for about 69.03. Would be where I'd be shaving some shares and then seeing if we come into 66.18. I'd be shocked if we could get, I would actually be thoroughly shocked if we give back all of the gains. So I think we're going to get some kind of better support again around the 68.73 zone, something like that. So if we could get any rejection a little bit higher, 74.58, that would be my spot to to say, okay, let's attempt. Just when I thought Jeremy Effect didn't hit the market, just delayed. It has been a while since we've had any premium gap sort. Got you. Catching up on some messages. Futures are bearish. Yeah, everything is bearish right now. Yep. Everything is bearish, but there's a difference, right? So there is bearish to what point? Right? I think Yates said it very profoundly yesterday in the afternoon room. He said, if anybody would listen to the afternoon room, and I love what he said, because we've seen this in the market before. The markets are all pushing. What we've seen lately, last couple of days at least, all of the trades are happening when the market's closed. So pre-market, after hours, we're getting huge moves on run-ups from earnings, all of that. And then the market opens and we're just kind of doing this. And then ding, 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 market closes and we're seeing some crazy moves. So they're not being very, very kind to a lot of the day traders per se, where we're just seeing stagnant, just sideways. And then after we get individual reports from companies or news or, I don't know, Russian nuclear weapon news or whatever the case, then we're seeing the markets move afterwards. But for this point, I mean, and it's not everything, but for the most part, a lot of stuff, they're letting people pre-market, after hours, market makers make some money, and they're kind of giving us some challenges and some weird, strange bounces. So just be careful. Again, the market, Jeremy says it all the time, market is open all day, I believe, unless something has changed. We'll see. DraftKings after hours today, we do have some earnings coming out on them, so I'll be watching those guys at 4 p.m. We have about 2 minutes left. Any last minute tickers? Lucian says it seems like the last economic indication the Fed needs to check off. His last is a market dump. I wonder how he accomplishes that. He could do it very easily. Yep. He remember last time we had Jerome Powell speak, he was looking pretty bullish out there in the markets. Right? And that kind of gave the blessing for the markets to continue the rally. He could come out here and say, listen, this market, we're starting to see the inflation again. He's got a good crutch to lean on now, saying, all right, we're starting to see the progress we've made is not really holding up, and inflation's starting to move higher. The numbers are starting to come hot again. We might consider even holding some of these rates even longer, which he said before the market shakes that off every time. So we'll see, but there's a path for him to do it. And I do agree to some extent that I think the market has to come down for at least the economy to look like it's getting healthier, right? In terms of inflation. Otherwise, all across the rest of the economy, and that's kind of the struggle, unemployment is at like 50-year lows, right? People are working. People are not too worried about the inflation as much as Jerome Powell is, right? He's got his lenses on in the future. Everybody is kind of blindsided like horses in Central Park. They're just looking forward at their portfolio going, no, this is great. I'm going up. I feel good. Okay, maybe the economy is fine. Like, they're not thinking as long term. But obviously, higher inflation has a longer term effect than most people will want to believe. So we will see. But unfortunately, I only got about, what do we got now? 30 seconds exactly left. So appreciate all you guys on YouTube land joining us each and every morning. Keep in mind, you guys are more than welcome to hang out with us, trade with us all day long. You just go to reallifetrading.com. We have all access pass. What are we up to? 47 hours a day of live streaming at this point. It's crazy. But you guys are more than welcome. Also, we have all the education online. If you guys want to check out beginners, intermediate, and advanced courses, you guys can do so on reallifetrading.com. Stay safe in the markets, and we'll catch you guys